Look, let's just be honest for a second. If you're a parent right now, chances are you're stressed. You're incredibly busy, and you're constantly juggling what feels like a literally impossible million things at once. We all want the absolute best for our kids, right? We want them to be emotionally strong and totally secure, but it's hard. So welcome to today's Explainer, where we're going to validate that stress and explore a genuinely practical solution. Because let's face it, trying to find hours in the day that build deep connection can sometimes feel completely out of reach. Do you feel like you just don't have enough hours in the day? Honestly, in a modern household where everyone's rushing out the door, commuting, working, and then finally stumbling back home totally exhausted, emotional distance can creep in so easily. And I want to establish a total guilt-free zone right here, right now. The realities of a busy life are demanding, and you are doing your absolute best. But what if I told you that you don't actually need hours upon hours of free time to build an unbreakable bond?
Because the magic number we're focusing on today is 30. That's it, just 30 minutes. The research we're diving into reveals that just 30 minutes of intentional, distraction-free time a day is the ultimate secret to building lifelong emotional resilience and trust in your child. It's a highly efficient, super-focused way to make sure they feel completely secure. And the best part? It doesn't require you to totally upend your daily schedule.
The 30-minute parenting secret: quality over quantity. This concept actually comes from a brilliantly practical framework called the 10-10-10 rule, which was shared by Dr. Swati Poppet-Vats, the president of the Early Childhood Association.
We really need to recognize the crucial difference between two distinct states, being physically present versus being emotionally available. So often, we're sitting on the exact same living room couch as our kids, but mentally, we're 3 aisles deep in tomorrow's grocery list, or maybe drafting a work email in our heads. And hey, again, guilt-free zone. That's just a byproduct of modern multitasking. But the real trick is shifting into being emotionally available. Creating a hard physical boundary with our devices, like actually leaving your phone in a drawer for just a few minutes, allows for consistent, focused eye contact and active listening. It's what bridges the gap between just being in the room and genuinely connecting.
Now let's talk about how eye contact builds empathy, looking specifically at the neuroscience of connection. The absolutely crucial point here is co-regulation. When a parent provides a calm, responsive gaze, it isn't just a nice psychological gesture, right? It actually physically regulates a developing child's nervous system. There is a direct neurological link between your responsive eye contact and your child's internal state. Over time, this repeated support helps children move from being co-regulated by you to actually developing their own internal emotional regulation and confidence. That calm eye contact literally provides an internal shield of security for the child that they carry with them everywhere.
And this brings us to a really powerful insight from psychologist Dr. Pavitra Shankar. She notes, quote, "Love is not a time measurement. Children measure it by how emotionally available someone is to them." You know, kids aren't walking around holding stopwatches, logging the sheer quantity of hours you spend in the same room as them. They are measuring the quality, the consistency, and the depth of your distraction-free engagement. I want you to think of your face like a mirror for your child. Eye contact is honestly one of the earliest and most important forms of communication for their developing brain. When they look into your eyes without you glancing down at a screen, they are learning the rhythm of a song. By observing your facial expressions, they literally build the rhythm of language and figure out how to genuinely understand emotions. True empathy relies entirely on that steady, unbroken rhythm of connection. Let's break down the cognitive steps of how this focused connection constructs the actual building blocks of empathy in a child's mind. First, you have observational learning. They're reading your eyes and expressions to identify emotions. Second is emotional understanding. By giving them your full attention, they experience firsthand what it feels like to be seen and heard. And you can't teach empathy unless a child has first felt understood themselves, right? And third, responsive interaction. By matching your tone and seeing your attentive listening, you're directly modeling for them how to regulate their own emotions and empathize with others.
So, moving on to the 3 crucial 10-minute windows and how to structure your day around them. The 10-10-10 rule dictates exactly where you should strategically place your emotional energy for maximum impact. You've got the first 10 minutes right when they wake up in the morning. The second 10 minutes are midday, usually when they get back from school or honestly just whenever they need you the most. And the final 10 minutes are right at bedtime.
Let's look at the morning impact first. Those first 10 minutes immediately after waking up act as the absolute emotional foundation for your child's entire day. If you respond with affection, calmness, and unbroken eye contact right off the bat, you set their baseline security. It regulates their nervous system immediately, which directly improves their concentration, their emotional confidence, and honestly just their overall mood for the rest of the day. You are starting them off with a literal shield of trust.
And then we have the end of the day. Before sleep, a child's developing brain is highly active, processing all the complex emotions and memories of the day. They desperately need a safe space to unload. This is where you talk, cuddle, and listen to them without rushing. Look, I know it's incredibly tempting to speed through bedtime to finally get some peace, quiet, and maybe a glass of wine, but providing emotional closure here without rushing solidifies lifelong stability. Children who consistently get this are far less likely to show behavioral distress.
But we have to talk about the hidden threat, technoference, the modern obstacle.
This is a phenomenon literally called technoference. It's defined as the frequent digital distractions, phones buzzing, screens lighting up, that actively disrupt parent-child interactions. Technoference is the absolute enemy of the 10-10-10 rule because it steals away the crucial emotional responsiveness and the vital eye contact that kids desperately need to develop properly.
The negative impacts here are rapid and severe. It reduces crucial emotional connection. It completely disrupts their ability to learn language rhythm from your face. It lowers their confidence, and it blocks you from modeling empathy. So to combat this, the best strategy is a simple device drop. Literally, drop your phone in a basket or leave it in another room before you enter any of these 3 10-minute windows. You've got to protect that time at all costs.
Finally, a foundation of lifelong trust and the developmental impact of all this.
Psychologist Dr. Pavitra Shankar states it beautifully. Eye-to-eye contact tells a child, "You matter." That simple, nonverbal message is the absolute bedrock of secure attachment. By dedicating these brief, hyper-focused moments to truly looking at your child and being fully emotionally available, you're sending a message that will have a lifelong developmental impact. You are quite literally helping them grow up emotionally strong.
So, the framework is simple. 30 minutes a day, 3 specific windows, no distractions, no extra hours required, just your pure intentional presence. So I'll leave you with this final thought.